Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome back to Aunt Vicky's Story Time. I am hoping that you're really having a great summer. And I do, once again, want to ask you, please stay safe. Now, Aunt Vicky has been working on something that I think you might find a little interesting. It's a little fairy house. We all have our little dreams of fairies and unicorns and the beautiful world of make-believe. And this is my little house that I'm working on. And as you can see, I haven't finished it, but I'm trying. It's going to have little stairs, and I'm going to put furniture, stuff like that in it. Well, anyway, that's what I've been doing. And I have also written another story, boys and girls, just for you. So, let's check it out. And what is this? Of course, Aunt Vicky's magical hat box. Aunt Vicky's magical teapot. And now, story time. Now, let's see. What will it be about today? Remember the other day I asked you to guess the poem was a hint to the new character that would be in the story? Well, today we also have another hint in this poem about the new character. So, try to guess while I'm reading you the poem. The name of the poem is The Cow's Milk. There was a happy cow that lived on a farm. She gave the tastiest milk as sweet as could be. It tasted as though it came from nectar of a honey bee. Her mistress was very pleased to serve kind guests with a cup, and as they sipped from the brim, they sipped until the very last sip. There was a happy cow that lived on a farm who was delightful, and her personality bubbled with charm. Now, boys and girls, can you guess who the new character will be? If you guessed a cow, you guessed correctly. Okay, to the story. Cuddles and Spuddles run away with Besty. Besty the milk cow lived on Leafy Farm. She loved Mr. and Mrs. Leafy very much. In fact, Besty got along well with everyone on the farm. Cuddles and Spuddles visited her every day. The kittens were enjoying following Besty around in the meadow of wildflowers. But today, Besty wasn't quite so friendly or talkative. The twin kittens asked Besty what was wrong. Well, said Besty in a rather sad moo, I haven't felt like giving much milk today, and when Mrs. Leafy came at milking time, I hardly gave her any milk at all. Well, said Cuddles, maybe tomorrow you will feel better. That's right, said Spuddles, and maybe tomorrow you will give Mrs. Leafy lots of milk. Poor Besty. She just grazed upon the wildflowers in front of her and mooed a low, sad moo. Besty had never felt so unhappy. She was known near and far for the best milk cow in the whole county, and she had always won first prize, even in the yearly county fair. As Besty continued to graze about the field, the kittens kept following her. When they came to the end of the fence in the meadowy field where Besty always enjoyed her daily strolls with Cuddles and Spuddles, she looked up and noticed Mr. Leafy had forgotten to close the gate. Well, look at that, said Spuddles. The gate is standing wide open. Sure is, said Cuddles in a puzzled meow. Moo, said Besty, and suddenly she had an idea. She was so unhappy that she decided to just walk through the open gate. Betsy was now walking down the old dirt farm road that led out onto the main highway. Now the kittens both gasped as they watched Betsy, and then they ran to catch up with her. "Where are you going, Betsy?" asked Cuddles and Spuddles in a curious meow. "I am running away," said Betsy, "because I disappointed Mrs. Leafy this morning." Now Cuddles and Spuddles just looked at each other with a rather frightened stare. The kittens didn't know what else to do except follow Betsy. After all, they couldn't just let her run away all by herself. They were afraid something might happen to her. So the milk cow and the twin kittens walked until they reached the highway without saying a word to one another. Then all of a sudden, Betsy began, "Moo, moo." "What are you mooing like that for?" asked Cuddles. "Well," she replied, "I don't know which way I want to go." "The best thing to do," said Spuddles, "is to just sit here until you make up your mind." The animals rested under a shade tree at the end of the dirt road and watched as cars and trucks run up and down the long highway in front of them. Automobiles were coming and going so fast that they never even noticed the animals that sat underneath the tree. The cars and trucks raced quickly back and forth, screeching on their brakes, then racing their motors and blaring ever so loudly on their horns as they just kept going on and on. Betsy and the kittens watched the busy, noisy highway all day long, and it made them nervous. Mooed Betsy, and slowly she stood up. "Well," asked Cuddles, "do you know which way you want to go yet?" Betsy answered, "I sure do." She turned around and walked back up the dirt road as fast as her 4 hoofs could carry her, and Spuddles and Cuddles chased after her. When the animals got to the gate, they ran through it and didn't stop until they reached the Leafy's big barn. They were all 3 completely exhausted. Spuddles meowed to Betsy and asked, "Are we done running away for today? 'Cause my paws are just plain tuckered out." "Mine too," meowed Cuddles. "Yes, we are through running away for today, and in fact," said Betsy, "I am never running away again," as she mooed. "That traffic was just too noisy and loud for me." The kittens meowed and agreed with Betsy. The following day, the cow was feeling so happy to be safe in the barn and away from that awful, mean old highway that when Mrs. Leafy came in at milking time, she gave her twice as much milk as usual. Mrs. Leafy stopped and took a sip and said, "Betsy, old girl, I do believe that is the sweetest and best milk you have ever given me." The cow felt very happy and mooed in a reply as she smiled at Mrs. Leafy. Once again, Cuddles and Spuddles came to the barn to visit with Betsy. The animals spent all day long playing, jumping and running and meowing and mooing until the sun set once again on Leafy Farm. That night, the stars twinkled and danced in the dark sky while the big full moon lit up the barn and all of the barnyard. Inside the cottage farmhouse, a lamp softly glowed. Cuddles and Spuddles lay in their box crate bed, and as they snuggled under the soft, pretty handmade quilt, they could hear Betsy calling out to them in a gentle, happy moo, Nighty night. Well, boys and girls, wasn't that a cute little story? I hope you enjoyed it. Now tomorrow, I hope you will come back to see me, and we are going to introduce another character in the Cuddles and Spuddles Grand Adventures. And I ask you to please email me, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and Aunt Vicky will try to answer every one, okay? Well, until tomorrow, boys and girls, remember, stay safe and a sweet nighty night. Bye-bye.